Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how I make this kind of videos. The technique is called masking transition and I'm using Photoshop and Premiere Pro. But I'm not teaching you Photoshop and Premiere Pro, I am teaching you the technique which you can apply anywhere you are comfortable, whether it's After Effects or even on smartphone. For example, CapCut. I'm personally not using CapCut, but I'm aware that it allows you to mask out subjects and layer them, so this is all you need for this technique. And it's even easier if you have a newer smartphone. You can just click the subject and there you have a transparent file that you will need for this technique. So let's get into the full process. Starting with this vending machine. The obvious subject here is the inside part of the machine. We always save the original photo without any cuts. We copy it and now we can start editing. I will now select the inside part of the machine. I use lasso tool as for straight lines it's very convenient. Then I add some feather to make the selection smoother. And then I press layer via cut. And now I have both parts that we will need for the masking transition. I will rename them inside and outside. On the most photos we need both parts so we can have two types of transitions. One the inside of the vending machine and then the frame. But for this photo we can make the inside part more interesting. I'm copying the inside layer, going to camera raw filter, and I'm lowering highlights, whites and shadows. Now we have a darker version and we can make it flicker like this. I have a more detailed tutorial about flickering if you are interested. On this photo I will remove the sky, and I don't really need the sky selection itself as I think to replace it with a time lapse. To see the selection better, I make a new solid color layer and I pick a contrasting color as a background. We have two buildings here, so I will select them separately so we can make the transition more interesting by having them pop up at different times. I select the building number 1 and press layer via cut, and now we have them separated. On this photo, the process is the same. I cut out the sign, but in the video editor I also want to move the bus itself like this. So in order to keep it behind this blue border, I cut out this blue border and I put it on top of the bus. So it's now the foreground and the bus is in the background. We repeat this process on all photos we choose. Once we're done editing, we can move the material into a video editor. Now, if you're using a phone or an editing program that doesn't support Photoshop files, you'll have to export these layers as PNG files so they stay transparent. But if you're using Premiere Pro, you can just import Photoshop files right away. I open the Photoshop file, then I choose individual layers and I import the material. I have also imported a few of my sky time lapses. My first step is to label them different colors so it's easy to tell them apart. My video resolution is set to 4K, but the photos are different resolution, so I need to adjust them. I click the photo, go to Effect Controls, and adjust the scale and position. Next step is to arrange them. Which shot comes after which one and what kind of a transition I want. I'm starting with this vending machine. It starts with a full photo, then the inside disappears and I want this time lapse to appear. So I put the sky on the bottom and the vending machine frame on top. Here I am color grading the sky video to fit the visuals better. Now I want to add these two buildings on top of the sky. so I place them on top of the sky. As simple as that. I want to show the buildings at different times, so I cut the duration of them however I like. Now I want the pay boxes to appear on foreground, so I put them at the top of those photos. Now I want to transition to the full image of pay boxes, so I place the full image of pay boxes on top or bottom, as it doesn't matter in this case. Next one is the sign photo. So shortly, if we want something on foreground, we place it on top, and if we want something to appear on background behind the cuts, we place it on the bottom. I repeat the same exact thing on the rest of the visuals. Now I am at the last shot, but I want to loop the video. So I bring the very first shot in the end. In this case, I bring the frame of the vending machine. Then I adjust the red pillar's scale and position so it fits the frame better. And now we have a loop. To check the loop, you can copy the full video or just the beginning and move it to the end of the video and play it. Next step, I want to add music, which I can play here because of copyrights, but I will adjust the duration of each photo to the music. I usually sync visuals with music by ear, but sometimes there are visible spikes in the audio panel, which makes it much easier. Now the fun part, the flickering and the movement. I have one light and one dark photo of the inside part. I place the dark one on the top of the light one and I adjust the opacity keyframes for the dark one. I usually just do some random numbers, but for this one I went from 0 to 100%. You can place the keyframes however you prefer. Next are the paybox screens. Same thing here, one light and one dark. But I want the flickering to be harsh and not a smooth transition from 0 to 100. So I select the keyframes, click the right button and click Hold option. And that's how it looks. For movement, I want this left building to move up and down. So I click it, go to Effect Control and Motion. I will adjust the position and scale keyframes, one keyframe at the start and one at the end. Same for the right building. For this shot I want to move the bus, so I select the bus layer and just like on the buildings, I choose the start and ending positions. And that was the last step for this video. This is how it turned out. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you want to support me, you can watch other videos on my channel and let me know what you want to see for the next video. See you next time!